Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, guys. Some more comments from James Gunn that I want to discuss today. If you missed my video yesterday about James Gunn commenting about the first chapter of the DCU, you can check that out on the channel. But today I want to talk about a comment that he made regarding a rumor that came out about Henry Cavill being in discussion or being in talks for a certain role in their animated project Creature Commandos. So there was a rumor that surfaced online, and a fan tweeted James and asked about it, and he said, "Is this true or bull?" And I don't think it would be very believable to most of us that are keeping in the loop with this kind of stuff anyway. But someone asked him about it, and he did respond. The rumor was that Henry Cavill was in discussion to play the character Frankenstein in the animated series Creature Commandos, which is being worked on or is in production. And James Gunn said, completely false. We have our Frankenstein, our first choice, and it's not Henry, was never discussed with him. So recently, James Gunn did tweet that they had cast who they wanted to play Frankenstein in the Creature Commando series. And I don't know, I think that's I would not put that together. Do people really think that Henry Cavill, not saying that, okay, there are a lot of very high caliber actors that do animated series. There is, tons, right? And Henry Cavill, I think, is one person that we would definitely be like, cool, I would love to hear him in an animated series, voicing an animated character. But considering the situation with DC and what happened with all of that with Superman, I don't think he would be like, oh, you guys are gonna, humiliate me this way in front of everybody about, the most important character in the DC universe. But yeah, I'll definitely do an animated character. I don't know. That would just be a little ridiculous. If it was some other animated series that was not even related to DC, then I think it'd be, oh, cool, maybe he is going to do an animated, which would be totally cool. But the situation that happened with DC, that does not sound believable at all. Someone replied in the comments and said, "I know you're just replying to false info, but just comes off as hate towards Henry Cavill. That post had no traction anyways." And James Gunn replied, "It's on various news sites, and I was asked about it. You might consider that this bile you think comes off in my post has more to do with your framing than what I'm actually saying. I've said in the past we've discussed other roles with Henry. Just Frankenstein is not one of them." I didn't really interpret this as hating on Henry Cavill. He just said it's not, our first choice was who we went with, and it was not Henry Cavill. We didn't even discuss that role with him, which, like I said, even if they did, that would be disrespectful, I think, in my opinion. Just to add salt to the wound, they're going to try to get him to do an animated role? No, absolutely not. So this one I did not see as coming off as hate towards Henry Cavill. But it is interesting that he said, we've discussed other roles with Henry. This was not one of them, but they did discuss other roles with him in DC. This kind of does coincide with what he had mentioned in his statement or announcement, rather, very heartbreaking announcement and disappointing, when he said that we are starting off with Superman Legacy and, as far as the movie universe, and it's not going to be Henry Cavill. And then in that same moment, Henry Cavill also posted his statement on Instagram. However, like I mentioned in my video discussing those statements, there was a very stark contrast between the two. And yes, we're reading them, but they're not, we're not watching videos of them saying it, which you can interpret things very differently when you're reading it, right? Because there's no facial expressions and body language and voice intonation to go with it. So reading stuff, two people can read the same thing and interpret it completely differently, which is fair to say. But I also think it was fair to say that James Gunn's statement and Henry Cavill's statement came off very differently from each other. James Gunn mentioned, kind of like what he said here, that he said that they discussed exciting things for the future. even though he was not going to be the Superman in this, universe or in Superman Legacy. However, Henry Cavill's statement said nothing of the sort. He didn't mention that at all. He didn't say anything about the future with DC. It was a very closed, like a very, tying this up type of statement. Like, it didn't leave anything open, in my opinion. He said, my time with the cape, my time donning the cape has come to an end. We'll mourn for a bit and then we'll move on. Which he did, because he is doing lots of great things and he has a lot of big projects coming up, including his Warhammer that he's going to be leading and starring in on Amazon Prime. And there's also rumors that he might be involved in the Call of Duty live action project at Amazon too. I'm not sure if that's true, but I'm sure a lot of people would be excited if it is. Anyway, he did not mention anything about a future with DC. It wasn't even like something that you could say maybe he'll return to DC in the future. Only James Gunn mentioned that in his comment, which obviously it seems like they did discuss other roles with Henry Cavill, but he did not want to accept that, which I don't blame him, because after the way he's been stiffed by the studio for years, and then now they just made it worse by allowing him to announce his return, being in Black Adam, and then all of a sudden, oh, nope, never mind, we're not going to use you in our movie. Why would he want to do other things? Why would he want to play another character? No, he's been waiting all this time to come back as Superman. A lot of people have said maybe they talked about Kingdom Come Superman with him. And, he's going to be that version of Superman. Maybe he could have been that version of Superman down the line in the DC universe. Okay, even if that was the case, if they did discuss that with him, was he going to wait another 6 or 7 years before they bring him back in some alternate universe or whatever they're going to do? So I don't doubt that they did discuss other roles with him, because it seems like this might be a thing that they're trying to do with some of the other current cast members. I think a lot of people are kind of like safely assuming that Jason Momoa is going to stick around and eventually play Lobo somehow. They have kind of made it seem like Ezra Miller and Gal Gadot are sort of up in the air and still a possibility that we may see them. However, it has been said that the cameo at the end of The Flash with Gal Gadot and Henry Cavill was removed. So not just Henry Cavill, which we know is not coming back, but also Gal Gadot. So why would they remove her, right? We know they're not doing Wonder Woman 3 with Patty Jenkins, so I highly doubt they're going to use Gal Gadot in that way. Or for another Wonder Woman movie. I know that Ben Affleck is not going to be Batman. That's pretty, set in stone. So, after The Flash. He will still be in The Flash. But after, in this new DC universe, he's not going to be Batman. To add to that, going back to Gal Gadot, the first reviews for Shazam! Fury of the Gods are coming out. It's kind of sparking a rumor that there is a fake Wonder Woman cameo or appearance, meaning it's not Gal Gadot. There is a shot in the trailer that it looks like he could be talking to Wonder Woman, because you kind of see her hair and her arm. I believe I made a video about it. And it looks like it might be her, or it might look like it's Wonder Woman. But we don't know if that's Gal Gadot, because you only see that part of her in the trailer, here in the back. You don't see her face. Which, if it is her, I can understand why they wouldn't put that in a trailer, because that's, kind of a big moment. So I don't know if that's true. I don't know if they're using, the same situation that they did with Superman in the first Shazam movie. It was not Henry Cavill. It was a stand-in. It was a faceless cameo. Are they doing the same thing with Wonder Woman in Shazam! Fury of the Gods? I don't know. But if they do, it's only going to add to the speculation that Gal Gadot is not going to return as Wonder Woman either. It would be weird to see some actors playing the same role and some playing a different role. Even if you use the multiverse concept, it could work, but at the same time, I don't know. I guess it would depend on how they would decide to do that. I don't know. I guess time will tell. But if They did discuss other roles with Henry Cavill. I wonder what they were, and I wonder if we'll ever know. I think a lot of fans, unless it was Kingdom Come Superman or something like that, a lot of people would be like, no, I don't want to see him as another character in the DCU. Like, we've waited all these years to see him as Superman again and to get another Superman movie. Why would we want to wait several more years to see him as someone else and then you have a different Superman? No. Like, no. No. If it was a different version of Superman, then that would be, I think, the only alternative that fans would be excited about compared to seeing him as a different character. Maybe we'll find out someday, what other roles were discussed with Henry Cavill for James Gunn and Peter Safran's DCU. But in the meantime, just wanted to go ahead and share that. Thank you guys for watching. Check out any videos you might have missed recently. And thanks for the support on the channel.